What's up, guys? This is Chito from El Paso Mix, coming to you live from the Rock House in El Paso with a very, very huge guest from Act of Defiance, Mr. Chris.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice
Very
to meet you,
good,
man.
very good. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for giving us a couple of minutes of your time.
Yeah.
We wanted to ask you, I know that it was mainly Sean and yourself that kind of started this project, these new ideas,
right.
but how do you guys got involved with the two new members, Matt and Henry?
Yeah.
How did that occur?
So, well, the first thing that happened is we formed the band, and we were trying to get so much done. We were looking for a record label. We were looking at, we didn't even have a band name.
Right.
There were so many things, so many logistics we were trying to get done. But the first thing we knew we wanted to do was to find our singer. And so we started just narrowing down a list of singers that we thought would work really well for us, both known and unknown singers.
Right.
And by the time we narrowed it down, Henry was one of 5 singers I think we narrowed it down to, and we sent out demos to them. And when Henry's demo came back, we knew he was the guy, for us. So that's how we got Henry. And then Matt was kind of later. Just because, as far as the bass goes, we're like, okay, we can pick that up as the music gets written, more
Right.
music gets written, things get more finalized and stuff like that. And I'd never even thought of Matt, even though I'd met Matt many times.
Right.
I knew he was a great guy, knew he could sing really well, but he was always the guitarist for
Right,
Shadows
right,
Fall.
exactly.
So I was like, he never crossed my mind in that respect. And Sean mentioned him when I was like, hey, guitarist, and Sean told me that he had been filling in on bass for other various bands and stuff like that. So I was like, sure, yeah, let's see if he's interested. So that's how we got Matt.
That's interesting because typically I don't see a lot of guitarists going into playing bass guitar. Which is great. I think it's a great compliment for your band.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything that Matt can do musically, like as far as singing, songwriting,
Right.
all of that stuff. So.
For your first record, it was mainly you and Sean.
Yeah.
Right. But now that you have your whole band,
Mm-hmm.
that you wrote this new record, Old Scars, New Wounds.
Right.
How was that integration of these all members contributing to this writing process or creating music process? Was it different between what you and Sean had envisioned?
It wasn't, in my mind, it wasn't different, even than the way that we started the first CD, except for that it was more inclusive of them,
Okay.
So, for example, the first CD, Sean and I both submitted songs that we'd written musically, and then also somewhat lyrically, and Henry came in on the first CD and did write some lyrics. But with the second CD, Old Scars, New Wounds, we all submitted songs for demos, and then the process was pretty much the same at that point. But the cool thing was once we selected the songs that we were going to use for the CD, then we all kind of went back over them and put in our opinions as to things like the arrangement, the melodies of the chorus, harmonizations, heavy singing, mellow singing, all of that stuff, and we took more time to really kind of think about how the CD was going to sound, and I think that really translated really well. And always having more opinions, more people's ears on it is better.
Right, you get more feedback on it, and you get to see others' opinions, right?
Yeah, and even if you don't always agree with them, it's always better to have more opinions. The opinions from your band members at least. Because ultimately, your decisions will be better on the whole.
Right, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Now, another kind of very philosophical question now that I want to ask you is...
I don't go that deep.
No, that deep?
Sorry,
All right. It's mainly about metal music in general.
Okay.
We know there's several genres of metal. Bands that continue to have the same sound as they started, and that's been successful for them.
Right.
Bands that have started here, moved over here, jumped around, explored new stuff.
Right.
How do you see Act of Defiance?
I see it as kind of like developing, because it was such a shotgun wedding with everybody in the first CD. that I didn't really know. I never thought into the future about well, what kind of songs is Matt gonna write, or Henry for that matter, you know. And I think on Old Scars, New Wounds, you're beginning to see that, how each of us individually kind of come up with material, and then how we each complement it once it's there. And I think we'll only get more and more of that. So I don't think there's a direction that we have in mind or anything like that, but I think it's going to be one of those things where it could continually morph into something else, but I don't think it'll stray too much from where we're at.
Oh, that's good.
But there is no intent there. That's the one thing, if we ended up, we wanted to pick up kazoos and do lounge songs or something silly like that, it could go that direction, but I doubt I would see that happen.
All right, and now with that kind of same thing in mind, that you're being the guitarist, I think it's a very good question to ask. We saw that the Washington Post had printed out an article that said that the title was "The Death of the Electric Guitar," where they talk about like guitar heroes, or they're kind of slowly fading away. They're not really bringing it up again. How do you feel about that? Is there any other maybe band or guitar player that inspires you currently, or do you really go back and be like, you know what, there's no one like Tony Iommi,
Right. Well, I do think it's the death of the rock star, because when's the last time you've seen somebody that's gained so much fame and status that they'll never lose that ability? I can't think of anybody since maybe Marilyn Manson or something getting that kind of rock star kind of icon status. As far as guitar players go, it's, to me, it doesn't really matter, because I'm always going to play the guitar. I love the guitar, and I'll be playing it till my fingers fall off. But I do think there are a ton of great players today. Like there are some young players, Jake Dreyer, Brandon Ellis, just to name a couple that are tearing it up, and they're insane how good they are. I think they had tools that we didn't have, when I was growing up, but still more power to them, and they're on their game. So I don't see any loss of ability in the instrument. I think the way that the music industry works now, and the way that people consume music has changed, and that's the big difference that I think we're seeing.
Absolutely, that's a very great point. And now, if you could define Act of Defiance in one word, what word would that be?
I would say, that's a hard one to sum up in one word, but I would say something to the effect of independent.
Independent?
Yes, because each of us, we don't try and make each other conform to, what we see the band as being or anything like that. We just let it ride, with each of our own personalities. So, we just come together and make those individual personalities work together.
That's good. And now, what are the next plans for your band?
So we're just starting this tour here in March 2018, in case you guys watch this a couple of years from now. And we'll be touring through the month of March, and then we're going to be going on tour with Armored Saint in both the States and for a few dates over in Europe, and then we're going to be hitting some festivals like Bloodstock and Wacken over in Europe, and then we'll be coming back and doing some more dates with Armored Saint.
Anything on Latin America?
Man, I wish.
You wish?
I wish, even I have been in contact with promoters trying to make it happen, and it seems like it's so close. It seems like there's such interest, but we just can't close the deal. And I think what we need is a really good booking agent that does Latin, Central and South America.
Yeah, because I know that there's a lot of fan base.
There is,
the crowds are wild over there. So
right.
They'll be excited to see you guys.
I sure hope so.
And
I'd be excited to see them.
Just one quick thing. I know you've been here to El Paso before. What's one thing you like about El Paso?
I love the topography. Like, I love desert kind of settings, and I love the climate weather. I don't know what it's like in the dead of summer though, so.
Hot.
Yeah, I would think so. But you know, I love that. I love the arid kind of climate. You know, people seem really nice. Like, every time I've gone here, you know, I always go to the Gold's Gym. I don't know what it's about.
The Gold's Gym?
Yeah, the Gold's Gym that's here, and people are always really cool there. And you know, I don't get to spend a lot of time here, but the little time that I have, people seem super nice. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for giving us this interview.
Yeah,
that was Chris from Act of Defiance, metal. And you guys stay tuned, because we're El Paso Mix, bringing you the big events, hoping to get you involved and telling you that there's a lot of things to do in El Paso. So
That's
keep
right.
checking our blog, follow our social networks, and you'll get in tune. See ya.